Daryl Harper.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So listen, you came down to Money Mastery Live, man. You just wrecked the show. What was that like?
It was cool, it was good. I mean, for me, it was nice to be in the environment again, but also seeing other people get excited about what we felt like when we came to Money Mastery the first time. They always say that professionals don't need telling, they need reminding. So it's coming back into space and just being reminded of some of the stuff that I still need to do, but also excited about the other people coming on and thinking, mate, my picture ain't on this wall yet. I need to make sure my picture's on the wall with all the other success stories. So when
Mm-hmm.
next people come in, they can see me up there.
Perfect, man. So it's there. It's going to be there now because of what you shared at Money Mastery Live on what was it, on Saturday?
That's
Yeah,
it.
a couple of days ago now. Yeah. So talk to us about what you shared.
Yeah, so apart from just telling people kind of a little bit of the journey, what I've done and what have you, but just in the month of October, September, I'm lost for dates now at times, but we did 21K. So
Perfect.
going from averaging 5 to 7K when I attended Money Mastery in July. I took time off in August and then did 21K when I came back. I felt like I had to catch up with taking time off.
Perfect, man. So you went from 5 to 7 grand a month to
Yeah.
21 grand a month within the space of just 3 months, even though you've taken a month off.
Yeah.
What was the cause of transformation? They must be doing some voodoo over at Money Mastery, were
Yeah, they voodoo me, yes. No, I think it's a combination of things. I think one of them was just the focus, the level of focus that sometimes you're sitting in a room and you're hearing people say certain things, and sometimes you know what you need to do, but for whatever reason you haven't done it. And you can tell everyone else and you can see everyone else's problems or shortfalls or what they need to do, but you're missing out on the things that you should be doing. So that level of focus saying, okay, cool. It's time to get busy now. It's time to do some work. It's time to do the things that you should be doing. So that was it, the level of focus that happened in the room and the clarity. Like,
they?
Daryl, you need to do this, and this.
Mm,
So that clarity and the direction, but also the feedback. One of the
mm,
things I said in that event is you could probably learn everything you need to learn from a book and multiple books because someone's written a book on every single subject out there. But the time it's going to take you to go through all that, and also not having the ability to get the feedback of, oh, am I doing this right? No, Dal, you
mm,
need to adjust that, you need to tweak that, you need to do that. So that's what you miss out on doing. So there's a lot you can get from the books, but it's just that feedback that you need. I think the
mm,
other thing was the accountability, just being held to account. I strongly believe in accountability and being amongst a group of people where everyone is striving to make a massive impact. Everyone's striving to change their lives financially, their family's life financially, and everyone's holding each other to account,
mm.
even if it's not being said. But when someone posts, "Oh yeah, I just did a contract, £720,000 contract," but wait, what? How much was it? 720. Sorry, not £720. £720,000 contract. It then you're like, okay, you need to step up your game, yeah, because
Mm,
sometimes you're in a space whereby you're doing well in your space, you're doing well in your environment, but when you step into another environment where people are just excelling, it makes you feel like, okay, you've been playing games. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
It makes you feel uncomfortable, and I'm very much about putting myself in a position of feeling uncomfortable because
mm,
that's where the growth happens. That's where the
mm,
major change happens. And I think the third thing, and I could probably come up with 10 different things, but the third thing that comes to mind immediately is you challenged us. You challenged every single person in that room to think
mm,
bigger. And I'm
mm,
typically a big thinker anyway, but then you made me think I was thinking small. Not in a
mm,
bad way,
mm,
but you made a comment like, your minimum wage should be £10,000. And it was so blasé. Your minimum wage should be £10,000. Actually, to be fair, like you should be making £30,000 a month.
mm,
And it was so matter of fact, so blasé that sometimes you settle on your 5 7K and you're able to pay your bills and you have a level of freedom. Like I've
mm,
left Babylon and escaped from Babylon how many years ago, and you're thinking, yeah, you're doing all right, but actually you're still not making the impact that you really want to make.
mm.
And the fourth thing, there was only three things, but I lied, Jazz. There's another one. This is what happens when you ask me a question. There's other things that come to my mind. The other thing I realized is that if my goal is to make a massive impact and change as many lives as I possibly can, and I don't learn the stuff and implement the stuff that you teach at Money Mastery, if I don't implement that, I'm being selfish because I'm not able to then help as many people as I really want to help. If I'm not able to help as many people as I want to help, I'm also not able to make the income that I really want to make. So I felt like I was being selfish by not excelling in what I already know that I'm gifted to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So those were a couple of things. I could probably think of some more, and I might interrupt you halfway through. Say, yeah, I got another one.
No, it's all good, man. It's kind of like you have that internal gift, right? Yeah, you've been given that God-given gift, right? It's like you've got to expand that out and, you know, help as many people as you can help by utilizing that gift. And ultimately, that's what we're here for as human beings. I always say we're here to create, innovate, and leave the world in a better place than how we found it. And we need that utility in order to be able to do that. So you said something quite powerful at the beginning, which was clarity, because lots of entrepreneurs have lots of different, as entrepreneurs, we're like a deer in headlights sometimes. We've got so many different ideas, so many different ways of which we can do things. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of clarity and how we've helped you with that.
Yeah, because I think for me personally, there's so many things that I can do or that I do within the space. I work in the financial education space, financial coaching, guidance, and financial solutions. So that's the space I work in. So I do stuff with corporates, I do stuff with young people, I speak with individuals, I speak to couples about their finances. And when there's so many things that you do in your spaces, sometimes it's very difficult to home in on your niche. And now you're marketing to everyone, but if everyone's your client, then no one's your client, if you know what I mean. Because not everyone is your client for where you want to be. So for me, it was very much, okay, Daryl, who is it is your ideal client? You know, who is the clients that you enjoy speaking to the most, but also can afford your product and service, but also the value that you're able to give. Because some of the biggest challenges sometimes as entrepreneurs is we want to help everyone. But one of the things I've learned is that you can't take everyone on the journey with you, and not everyone wants to take that journey. So sometimes we sit down and we want to, even like you want to take your friends with you, and you want to bring this friend with you, but they're not ready to move yet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to just become successful to inspire them to step up. So for me, the clarity that came was, all right, just really homing in and committing to who is my audience, who is my avatar, who do I want to speak to, and then creating the messaging around the audience that I want to impact and I want to change. It's not to say that I'm not going to help the other people, but this is what I need to home in on.
And there's levels to the way in which you help people, right? Depending on, you know, what that time to impact ratio is, and also. Like you spoke about feedback, which is something that we just went through in terms of, okay, you want to redo your landing page.
Yeah.
How is that helpful for you in terms of feedback and, you know, moving forward?
Because sometimes you're doing things yourself and you can think, yeah, this looks good. That doesn't say it looks rubbish, but it might say you need to make an adjustment, right? Which is a nice way of saying, no, you need to change it, right? But honestly though, it's that immediate. Do you know what it is? It's not just feedback; it's immediate feedback that you need. I think that's the key, the immediate feedback, because you can be doing it, and can keep going. You get really good at doing it wrong, but actually the immediate feedback. Okay, adjust this, tweak that, and actually sometimes Jazz is doing some of it for you, and I'm like, oh God, that sounds good, Jazz. Are you with that, Jazz? Make me sound good. So I think there's that part of it where you've got someone essentially holding your hand and taking you through the process. It's not a do it yourself. It's we're going to do it with you. We're going to support you. We're going to come alongside you, because actually when you win, we win.
Yes.
The more success that we have, the more success that you have. Do you understand what I mean? So I think the immediate feedback is key, because sometimes even when you've done something, because you're not sure about how good it is, you don't necessarily get it out there.
Yes.
But when you had someone who's become successful and continues to grow and continues to become successful, looking on what you're doing and say, okay, change that. You're like, okay, you feel more confident to get it out there now.
Yeah. Use this word, not that word. Use this font, not that font. Do it this way. Put that image over there, not over there. Use this testimony, not that testimony. Relanguage that. And it's just like all of that dialed in feedback. And to me, it comes fairly natural and it just flows off the tongue. But I think what people miss sometimes is that that's because I've been doing it for 5 years and I've been making, doing the trial and terror for 5 years on my own. And also that gives me the credibility and the experience to then just be able to roll that off my tongue very quickly to get you to where you need to be.
Yeah. And I think also just to add to that, it's not just, change this word to that word. It's the explanation of why we're changing it. So because I think that's key, is understanding actually the reason why you need to change it that word, because when you market it and you say it like this, it then appeals to these people. If you say it like this, it appeals to these people, and having that understanding. So then when you need to go to do your next landing page or your next task, you're now thinking completely differently because your level of understanding has grown and changed and developed.
Yeah. So you've gone from 5 to 7 a month, which is more like round about 70,000 a year. And like if you just continue on this trajectory of now being at 21k a month, that's more like 240k a year. That's a massive difference. What kind of impact would that have for you, even if you don't continue to grow with Money Master Academy, which of course you will? What kind of impact would that have for you in terms of your lifestyle and everything else?
So the first thing that comes to mind is, I've always said there's 3 things I want. I want more time, more money, more freedom. More time to do the things that I love with the people that I love the most. The freedom to do them whenever I want, and the money to be able to afford it without having to think about where the money's coming from. Not thinking about, but if I've just paid for that, who have I just robbed? And I don't mean physically. I mean, which bank account have I just robbed, or what has to suffer? So for me, the first thing that comes to mind is financial peace. Yeah, that sense of peace where I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about a depression, a recession, because the only thing I have is an obsession with growing. You like that in it? It's good bars, like more bars than a prison, right? So or sweet shop, chocolate bars. So for me, I'm not worried about any of those things, because actually, if I've got all the fundamentals right and I put all the systems in place, it doesn't matter what else is going on in the world. We're going to be able to make an impact, and we're going to be okay financially. Do you understand what I mean? So I think it's having that confidence to know, bring on. No, let me not say that. I was going to say, bring on another COVID, bring on another third, or bring on another lockdown. Don't bring it on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it was to happen, I'm not stressed out about anything.
Yeah, you're
Do you know
prepared
what I mean?
financially.
There's enough money in the bank to live off the interest.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's enough money now for me to live for a decent period of time. But at some point that will run out.
Yeah.
I need everlasting kind of generational wealth money.
And it comes from knowledge, right? Because once you have that knowledge, again, and the explanation as to why things work and how to do things, then that knowledge is one thing that can never be taken away from you. And I think it was Alex Hormozy who said that, that your knowledge is one thing that can't be taken away from you, can't be taxed, and it's going to naturally grow over time.
Yeah. And I think the other flip side of that, though, the knowledge that's not used just feels useless. Do you know what I mean? So it's taking that knowledge, because knowledge is just information stuck in your reserves until you actually start implementing. So it's like, let me take this knowledge and then let me apply it and implement it. So actually now it becomes useful. And it's not just sitting there in reserves waiting for a good time. I'm waiting for a good time to implement this knowledge. I'm waiting for all the stars to be aligned. I'm waiting for all my ducks to be in a row. And that's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? You can't wait for the perfect time. You got to just do it and go and get it done. And say, all right, do you know what? Regardless of what's happening, all the ducks are not in a row, but I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to fail quickly, so I become better. It's okay to make mistakes. Let me just make new ones every single day. Right? I always say to people, make mistakes. It's okay to make new ones. Make mistakes, but make sure they're new ones every day. Because you keep making the same mistake over and over again, you're just an idiot. No, sorry.
Powerful. So look, you spoke about like just taking action and just going forward with it, right? And taking that leap of faith. There's a lot of people that will be watching this that have been watching me for a long time and going, is should I go to Money Mastery? Talking about Money Mastery Live, the 4-day in-person event where I train, coach, and mentor people on how to systemize and scale their business. What was the trigger point for you that made you think, I need to be in this Money Mastery Live event?
So, because I wish you didn't ask me this question, Jazz. I was that person that was and and I've seen Jazz for a while. I was working out, because you're partly working out, do I like him? Do I connect with him? Do I like the way he speaks? Do I like the content? All of that stuff kind of goes through your mind. And I was at a space where, and I shared this at the event, that I believe in mentorship. I believe in accountability. I believe in coaching. I've always have done. And I felt like that my mentor at the time, and this is no disrespect to them, and as I said at the event on Saturday, I said I felt like they stopped growing, I kept going, and as they stopped growing, I had to get going. Do you understand what I mean? And find someone else that was going to take me to the next level. So I was already in a position where I was looking for somebody to give my money to that was going to take me to the next level. I was really there. And I was trying to toy up between you and someone else, if I'm honest. Yeah, you and somebody else. And they were fantastic as well, right? Okay, I went to a couple of your online events. And then, honestly, I saw one of my clients doing a testimonial on the back of your Money Mastery event. And I phoned them up. I said, is this guy legit? Daryl, phenomenal. All right. I've got a client of mine, and I said, and she knows you, knows your brother. I said, is this guy legit? They're Daryl, I've never been to his event, but his brother's on point. And what I remember from Jazz from when he was young, he's on point. He's serious. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go and take my money, invest it in me, because I'm the most important asset and the biggest asset. Let me invest it in me and go to the event. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? This is how I think. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? It's going to be a waste of my time, waste of my money. That's the worst thing that can happen. Could I make the money back? Yes, I can. If I leave there with at least one nugget that could change my life, would that be worth it? Yeah, absolutely. And I said, well, if I don't do this and I haven't got to where I wanted to get to in the last kind of 17 years of being in business, I've done well, but not where I want to be. I've got to go and invest some money and take it to the next level. And I was 100% prepared to do that. And if at the end of the 4 days it doesn't work out, at least I could say I tried. And I never liked that word. I never liked the word try. I can't stand that word because I don't believe you either do it or you don't. But I'll say at least gave it a go. Yeah, I have no regrets, because the one thing I don't want, the one thing I struggle with, is I didn't want to hear that one of my friends went to your event. They blew up. They're making 60, 70,000 pounds a month. And I'm still thinking about, well, is this guy legit? It's really good. And now I'm the idiot. Do you know what I mean? I'm still sitting there thinking it while other people have taken action.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, Jazz, and you obviously know I work in the financial education space, that people waste money on so many other things. You go on holiday and spend 2 grand, 3 grand, 4 grand to go and create a 2 weeks worth of memories and all that type of stuff. You go and do that on a credit card. Yeah, that you end up paying for that holiday for the next 4 or 5 years. The tan's left your body, but you're still paying for the tan on interest because you did it on credit. So you've done that. You've spent money on a car that sits on your driveway, and you can't even drive past 20 miles an hour anymore. Do you know what I mean? You've done all of these things and you've wasted money for experiences that you may have enjoyed. But we're now talking about taking yourself to another level. We're now talking about investing in you being the number one asset, and saying, okay, let me go and invest in me. I'm not talking about investing in your haircut and your hairstyle. I'm not talking about investing in your clothes and your shoes and your jewelry and the bag. We're talking about investing in your mindset. Because once you can grow this, you can afford as many shoes as you want, as many bags as you want, and many cars as you want. But let's grow here first. Like, how much money have you? This is my thing. What books have you read this year? Do you know what I mean? What are you reading right now? Yeah. How much money have you invested in yourself this year? And my thing is, if you ain't invested 5% of your income this year, we're playing games.
Facts.
Like you're playing games. You ain't invested at least 5% in your income this year. You're playing games.
Yeah. So talking about investing in yourself.
Get me all hype, man. Huh? You get me hype, Jazz.
Good.
I was all calm.
Good. Now you see how I am, why I am the way I am when I'm on presentations and when I'm on stage, right? So you talk about investing in yourself, and then you came to the 4-day event, you came to Money Mastery Live, and obviously, like Money Mastery Academy, it's not chump change. It's a significant investment in yourself and in your business. What was it that made you take the next step in terms of joining the academy and getting that 12 months worth of support?
Yeah, so I was still there, even though I wanted to invest my money in myself and invest in someone that was going to help take me to the next level. I still and ahhed. Don't get me wrong, But I feel like that's a good thing, because if it's easy to pay, it's easy to leave. Ross, that was also a good bar. Like the minimum, like the smaller the commitment, the easier it is for you to escape. And I feel like when you put a certain amount of money in, and it's like, oh, you see that, just, oh, that kind of hurt. Like when you have that type of feeling, it's that thing that when you pay attention. Yeah, you're more likely to do stuff the bigger the investment you put in there. Like it's like, so this is an example that I said to someone the other day. Like they had I said, if you buy a nice, what's a good name, a good brand name for a bag? What, Chanel?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chanel. How much are Chanel bags? I don't know.
There's going to be someone watching this that going, no, Chanel's not the brand anymore. Listen, I don't know. I just wear abundance in your birthright, right?
But let's say a Chanel bag is what, about £300-400?
Yeah.
Right. If you've ever been on public transport with a Chanel bag, you don't put that bag on the floor, because that's a £300-400 bag. That's sitting on your lap, or that's sitting on the seat next to you, where no one, like, my bag gets a seat, but no one else does. But if it was a Tesco bag, yeah, you put that on the floor. You don't business. Because the more you pay for something, the more importance you give it, the more value you give it. So the more you invest in you, the more you value yourself, and the more importance you put on yourself. But also, Jazz, this is the other thing. This is the other thing that came to my mind. If I'm not prepared to invest the sum of money in myself, that money mastery, the value of money mastery, the cost of money mastery, I don't have the right to ask for anyone else. I don't have the right to ask anyone else to invest in my program at the top level. So do you understand what I'm saying? So when you put whatever, let me just call out some arbitrary figures, right? Let's say if you've invested 10, 15, 20, 30,000 pounds in your own personal development, you have so much more confidence and conviction to tell someone, my program is £3,000.
Or 10 or 15.
Or 10 or 15 or 20.
We just created your 15 grand program. We just created your 15 grand mastermind, in essence, right?
Yeah, because you know how much you paid in yourself. So it's easy for you to say, like, normally you might go, yeah, my program is like £1,000, but I'll do it for you for like £2.50 and a chocolate bar. Do you know what I mean? You might say, because you're frightened. You're frightened because deep down in your conscious and subconscious mind, you know you've never done that for yourself. Do you know what I mean? But when you've done it and gone, bam, here's the money. Now your price goes up because, number one, you want to make your money back, you want to make your investment back, but also you know how much you've invested in yourself. Now you've got to pay more attention because of how much money you put into it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. So part of it was of that. And honestly, Jazz, when I invested the money and I transferred the money over, honestly, for everyone listening to this, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And I honestly say that, like, I felt like, okay, it was literally like, okay, we're ready to rock and roll now. Like, it felt like all the pressure, all the confusion, all the lack of clarity, and also I'm actually very clear, but also just not sure on my niche or what have you. All that stuff I felt just fall off my shoulders. So now I'm like, okay, we're now ready to go work. I'm now going to get some direction. I'm going to get a kick up the backside. I'm going to get some accountability. I'm going to be around a positive peer group that's all striving towards, and that's the other thing as well, being around a positive peer group that's all striving towards a similar goal. I'm going to be around these people here. And if I'm in that environment, I'm going to grow to the size of that environment.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. And then these people are going to be the people that are going to help me do it, because I'm going to learn through their trials and errors. I'm going to learn through my trial and errors. They're going to learn through my trial and errors. We're going to watch what each other's doing. We're going to see the mistakes that we're all making. We're going to see the wins that we're all having. We're going to inspire each other. We're going to share with each other. And that like part of it, just honestly, part of it, the part of me investing what I invested was to be amongst those people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Honestly, it was to be amongst those types of people to help expand my mindset.
Yeah, because there's not many of us, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's a lonely road. I can't remember who sang that song. It's a right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Love it, man. Love it. And you've got a young family now. You've got a fairly newborn young boy. How do you think that level of prosperity and expansion in terms of your mindset, your business, your growth, has an influence on him?
So what's interesting, like I wasn't going to mention him, but you did, so I will now, right? So the other thing that happens, when you have a little one, your focus changes as well. Yeah, it's not about just you anymore.
Mm.
Like everything you're doing now is about setting up a future for them. And like everything I do now, I ask myself, what's the ROI? Like what's the return on investment? What's the return on time? Because ultimately, if I'm going to do something and I have to leave my house, you've taken time away from my son. So that's got to be worth it.
Mm.
Whether it's financially or relationship wise. Like we're going to grow a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business relationship. So I don't like leaving my house and leaving my son for
Mm.
nothing.
Mm.
So there's a sense of urgency,
Mm-hmm.
but also the mindset is, and I can't remember your question, but I'm gonna keep talking and hopefully it'll come back to me. Um, that for me, I've always said my goal is to be his biggest role model. They ain't looking at no one on TV that and someone on TV that has never met, don't know, doesn't know how they're living. My goal is for me to be his biggest role model. That I show him what saving investment so investing is like. I show him what it's like to be a positive male role model. I show him what it is to do with your man. I show him how you look after a woman. That's my role.
Yeah.
So there's this level of urgency that I have to get certain things done. So I'm around for every part of his life, not just the later stage, but I'm here for every part of his life. Like right now, with what I built prior to meeting you, I look after my son during the day. Like I have him during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I work from 5:30. I don't start work till 5:30 in the evening or
Yeah.
after you finish at 9, 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But I have him from the morning. The
Mm.
goal is I only work 2 days a week.
Mm.
That's where we're working towards now. 2 days a week. I'm taking an 8 hour day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to be there for every experience that he has.
Mm.
Side note, I'm the one that taught him how to walk. I was the first one that saw that. So I was the first one that witnessed his first step. I sat there. He went through daddy daycare boot camp on walking. Bam,
Mm-hmm.
we got that thing done in 2 days. That's my claim to fame. He
Love
still
it.
loves mum more than he loves me. Do you know what I mean? He don't care about me all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have no breast milk,
Yeah.
but but it was being there to experience that. And I
Mm.
couldn't have done that if I was working in Babylon, working my 9 to 5 job, where someone else's thumb is on me, telling me when I
Yeah.
come to work, when I go home, whether I've still got a job, whether I'm going to furlough. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like that. I like freedom and I like
Mm.
peace.
What I love about that is that you have new level of income, and you've also spoken about the time freedom that you have and the
Mm,
flexibility that you have in order to have the family lifestyles that you want. Because many
mm,
people feel like their money is attached to time, and for many in established business owners, especially coaches and consultants, they trade excess time for money, and that's one of
mm,
the things that is so powerful that we teach in Money Mastery
mm,
Live. We spent 4 days actually drilling through
mm,
actually how to disconnect your income from time whilst
mm.
also having a massive impact on the people that you serve. So
Absolutely.
look, Daryl, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure.
This has probably been this has been the longest conversation that we've had of this kind, and it's been an absolute honor. It feels like 5 minutes, and it's probably been a little bit more like 35. So I want to honor you for going from taking action on implementing the advice that we've given and taking action with speed, and scaling from that 5 to 7 grand a month where you're at before to scaling towards 20 grand, 21 grand in the most recent month. And I'm sure that's going to continue to grow and to ascend. And for anybody that's watching this, thinking about, oh, well, what's the next step for me? There'll be a button below this video somewhere. And if you're watching it on one of our landing pages, it'll be a book a call button. And if you're watching it maybe on YouTube or somewhere else, then there'll be another alternative option for you to learn more about what we do and how we can potentially help you as an established business owner, coach, consultant, speaker, author, trainer, or expert about how to systemize and scale your business. So from Jazz Rose and Mr. Daryl Harper himself, abundance is your birthright. Peace out. Blessings, Daryl. Appreciate you, brother. I'll catch up with you soon.
Bless you, sir. Thank you so much.